So today is July 17th. As usual, I'm happy to make video lessons like this, again, so that you can do it any time. And again, I can do maybe some stuff that usually I don't get to do. So what I wanted to do today is to introduce some new exercises. Again, this is the cool thing about video lessons, because normally if you were to come to all live in-person lessons, I wouldn't keep giving you new ones. We work on the ones that, the earlier ones until they felt really good each time, and then you would get better and better. But this way, I can introduce new ones to you, and then frankly, if they're too hard, if they're too weird, you can always go back to my older videos and watch the easier exercises and follow along with those first, and then gradually work your way into these. Whereas if you were a person, it would be like, oh, well, just do it now. Here's the exercise. This, you get to really kind of take your time and stuff. So to get you started, let's just hum to get going. Keep the part lips barely touching. Sing forward, not up. Stay lazy. Now we're going to go back to this one. This one is an old one. I know I said I'd introduced it once, but this one's an old one. I don't know if we ever really did it twice. I might have introduced it maybe, but you're really sort of honed in on it. I'm going to go a little slowly. It's a little much. It's got a lot of notes in it, but you'll do great. So hum this note. This exercise goes, I'm sorry, on an ooh. Sorry. I need to relax my mouth. legato, very smooth. One more. Now, I didn't say this in the beginning because it's a goal, but you can pause right here, try it, go back. I mean, don't pause, rewind, go back to it. The goal on this song, on this exercise, I want you to be able to do each of those patterns on one breath. Okay. Now, if you're saying, really, remember the S thing. And frankly, start out by doing S on the exercise. So like, and think of the notes. Like think of like how fast and how long this pattern is. Then gradually, do that for a few days. Then gradually progress to. You may have to stop there and take a breath. That's okay. Just work up to it. But eventually work up to. You see how my breath went out there? It's hard. I stopped concentrating. Sometimes it's just concentration. Sometimes it's this getting lazy. But I don't know if it's laziness, or things not working together well. I think sometimes it's just focusing, thinking about it. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but one of the best books for a singer to read, and it's not really my thing, but the idea is cool. One of the best books they say for singers to read is Zen and the Art of Archery. I'm not really into Zen at all, but what I think is cool is this idea of singing as being the most like archery. Okay, so in the same way that you can't just forget about everything when you're there, you need to stay focused the entire time as you pull the arrow back, and then letting go. In the same way, singing, we have to let go too, right? We place, we aim, and then we let go. So it's interesting how much that's like that. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but singing is a lot like archery, a lot. So as we sing and start to think like that, it can really help. But anyway, so go from the S, like doing this with me, going back, doing it on an S instead of what I'm doing. Then going back again and going. I'm focusing on making this keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And my alignment stays the same. But like, keep going, don't stop, don't jut out, don't just quit on me. Keep going, keep doing the same fluid motion going in. And then go to All right. Now, the next song the next exercise this is a new one that I want to teach you is so only staccato or like that weird disconnected jumpy. This is going to help these muscles work together and learn how to work as a team, develop. It also helps your onset, right? The actual fold closure as you sing. Anyway, keep going. So everything else is smooth. It's just that is the staccato one. One more. Your body, your voice, the mechanism, the whole mechanism is getting used to changing textures. Textures is my word for smooth and not smooth singing, right? So what the other thing I wanted to do today, because it's what I would have done with you in studio, is to sing House of the Rising Sun, right? So you mentioned the song, you sent this to me through Spotify a while ago. It's a perfect song for you. I love this song for you. But what I was going to do is kind of do my take on it like I usually do, just on the piano. I'm going to do my very best. I'm not an expert at this song. I love the song. I think it's a great song. I know that it's tough because obviously I've sung through it. When he goes up, that doesn't. Okay, so just because in the original Animals version, he goes up. My mother was a tailor. That doesn't mean you have to do that. But I want to encourage you to try it. I don't want my students to not do something just because it's like, well, I don't think I can do it. If it's something physically you can't do, because there are going to be things physically, you can't sing this note, it's just a physical thing. That's one thing. But if you just do it, if you just say no because you're like, well, no, I don't think I can. I think it's worth a shot. The kicker is that the deciding factor is if you go up there and it feels super tight, despite loosening up, stretching, moving while you're singing, doing this while you're singing, you just feel like you just even can't phonate some of those upper notes. Couple of things. The first thing I would do is change the key, lower the key. In fact, I'm going to sing probably higher key than the version you sent me. So I can lower the key certainly. The next time I see you, we can play around with that because you are a lower voice than the guy in the Animals. But this is the version I happen to have. But you can sing obviously whatever key you like. But despite the fact that it's high, like I said, I would give it a shot. What you're going to do is imagine that your voice is coming out from somewhere much higher, frankly, than your mouth. So as we sing, you probably experienced this already. If we just imagine that our voices are coming out of our mouths, and that's sort of our general sensation and mindset, that we're going to be very limited. But if we find that we can sort of project from, let's say, our foreheads or our noses, our sinus cavity, whatever, or even above our heads, which I've done, which I've had to do for my really high notes, we're going to be able to do a lot more than we think we can, So I'm going to try the song. Sing along with me. Sing an octave lower, though, because I'm going to sing in my range. So you're going to go. really want to go really low, you could sing this. Okay, if you want to be down there, but you choose what you like. I'm gonna sing through this. It's been around many a Here, I'm going to go up, but I'm going to place it in such a way that it feels like it's coming out of my forehead. I'm imagining my voice coming from here, not here. It won't come out if I think it's here, you know. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my blue jeans. My father was a gambler. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase after truck. Sorry. And the only time he's satisfied is when he's on the skip the solo. Verse 4. Oh, mother, tell your children. I'm not pushing my jaw down, but I'm letting it gravity drop it. I'm not holding it in any one position. Oh, mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of All right, so of course there are a few other verses, and I'd love to hear your arrangement of the song. You can obviously do all 6. I think that would sound great. But you're just like Jeff Buckley did with Hallelujah. You can take out the verses that mean the most to you, that you deem as being the best, the most important for how you, in accordance with how you see the song. So that's that song. I'm so excited to hear you sing it. So honestly, even if we don't get together soon, if you wouldn't mind at some point, I love hearing you recording just even a snippet of this, even if you record yourself singing with me on this song, I would love to hear it. That would be great. So like, even if it's like me playing in the background, then you're singing and then you record that, that would be great. I'd love to kind of hear how you approach those high notes again. And I want to hear you mess up so I can fix you. So I want to hear if you mess up. You might surprise yourself. And if it gets really tough, Alex, frankly, forget about the words. Okay. So if it gets to the point you're like, there's no way. There's just no way I'm not getting. So I want you to do it in such a way that you're just on vowels. And then add the words later. Oh, mothers, your children. Don't worry about being articulate at all. The vowels are the most important. So the vowels make a big and free, then add consonants as a secondary facet. Okay? So as usual, questions about what I said, challenges that come up as you try it, let me know, email me anytime. I'll see you next week.